I just wanted to hold my daughter. I heard the alarms, but I couldn't move. The light pulled me away and I let it. Then I saw him, Jesus, standing right in front of me. The bright lights of the hospital rooms suddenly seemed too harsh. Rebecca Goldstein's body jerked violently as alarms blared from the monitors surrounding her bed. Her husband, Aaron, stood frozen, his hand still clutching hers, as doctors rushed in shouting orders. "We're losing her," blood pressure dropping fast. Rebecca could hear the panic in their voices as her vision began to dim. She had just wanted to bring her baby girl into the world. Now, at 32 years old, darkness was closing in around her. Code blue. We need a crash cart in here now. The last thing Rebecca heard was the sound of her newborn daughter crying somewhere in the distance. Then everything went silent. Rebecca had grown up in a middle-class Jewish family in Philadelphia. Her grandparents had survived the Holocaust, and their stories had shaped her understanding of faith and suffering. Though her family wasn't strictly religious, they honored their heritage through holiday celebrations and community connections. She'd met Aaron at a friend's Hanukkah party 5 years ago. He worked as an elementary school teacher, and she managed a small bookstore downtown. They had simple dreams, a home with a yard, children running around, family gatherings filled with laughter and good food. When Rebecca discovered she was pregnant, they had spent evenings painting the nursery a soft yellow Aaron, singing little songs to her growing belly. They'd chosen the name Leah after Rebecca's grandmother. Now, as monitors flatlined and doctors desperately tried to save her, Rebecca's story seemed to be ending just as her daughter's was beginning. Rebecca felt herself floating upward, away from her body. The strange sensation didn't frighten her. Instead, it felt natural, like taking off a heavy coat after coming in from the cold. Below her, she could see herself lying on the hospital bed. Doctors pressed paddles to her chest. Her husband Aaron was being guided out of the room, his face twisted in anguish. "I'm right here," she tried to call, but no sound came out. She watched the medical team working frantically to save her life. Their movements seemed to slow down, becoming distant and less important with each passing moment. The hospital room faded away, like a photograph losing its color. Rebecca drifted upward, passing through the ceiling and into darkness. She felt no pain, no worry. Her thoughts were clearer than they had ever been. Then, she noticed a tiny spark of light in the distance. It grew brighter as she moved toward it, or perhaps it moved toward her. The light expanded, wrapping around her like a warm blanket. She thought of her daughter, beautiful little Leah, who she'd only glimpsed for a moment before everything went wrong. Rebecca wanted to feel sad, but the light surrounding her made sadness impossible. "My baby," she thought. "I never got to hold her." As she moved through the tunnel of light, Rebecca remembered the summer days of her childhood, the smell of her mother's challah baking in the oven, her father's deep laugh when he told stories on the porch, the feel of her grandmother's wrinkled hands as they lit Shabbat candles together. Small memories floated by like leaves in a stream: her first day of school, her bat mitzvah, college graduation, her wedding day. Each memory was perfect and complete, seen with new understanding. The tunnel opened into a vast space filled with golden light. The brightness should have hurt her eyes, but it didn't. It felt like coming home after a long journey. Rebecca wasn't alone. Standing before her was a man radiating light, so intense it seemed to come from within him. His presence filled her with a peace she had never known before. She knew immediately who he was, though it made no sense to her Jewish understanding of the world. It was Jesus. His eyes held a kindness beyond anything human. When he smiled at her, Rebecca felt completely known. All her flaws, fears, and mistakes laid bare, yet fully loved. "Rebecca," he said, his voice like music. "Child of Abraham, daughter of my people." She tried to speak but couldn't find words. How could this be happening? Jesus wasn't part of her faith tradition. She had respected him as a historical figure, a Jewish teacher, but nothing more. Yet here he stood before her, more real than anything she had ever known. "You have questions," he said, his smile warming her. "I know this is unexpected for you." Around them, the light shifted and moved like water, creating patterns that somehow spoke of eternity. Rebecca felt a gentle breeze that carried scents of flowers she couldn't name. "Am I dead?" she finally managed to ask. For a moment, Jesus answered, "But your journey isn't over, Rebecca." He reached out his hand. When she took it, waves of understanding washed over her. Love beyond measure. Truth beyond words. "There are things you need to see," he said. "Things you must bring back." The space around them shifted. They were suddenly standing on a hilltop overlooking Jerusalem. The golden dome of the rock gleamed in the sunlight. The western walls stood solid and ancient below. People of different faiths moved through the streets of the old city. "This land has known so much suffering," Jesus said quietly. "So much blood has been spilled in my name and in the name of your fathers." The scene changed before her eyes. She saw conflicts throughout history: crusades, pogroms, the Holocaust, modern wars. Each vision pierced her heart. The world misunderstands what Israel means. Jesus continued, "They have forgotten that I was born a Jew, lived as a Jew, died as a Jew." Rebecca watched as the landscape transformed again. The hills of Jerusalem remained, but now they were bathed in a light that seemed to come from within the very rocks themselves. "What is this?" she asked. "What could be?" Jesus answered. "What will be?" She saw people from all nations gathering in Jerusalem. They weren't fighting or divided. They walked together in peace. Jews, Muslims, Christians, and others she couldn't identify. All with faces upturned in wonder. "I don't understand," Rebecca whispered. "Israel was never meant to be a battleground," Jesus said. "It was meant to be a light." The vision shifted again. Now she saw her own people, Jewish families and communities around the world. They were reading ancient texts with new eyes, discovering hidden meanings, feeling called home in spirit if not in body. "The true Israel is not just a place on a map," Jesus told her. "It is written in the hearts of my people. It is a mission, not just a nation." Rebecca felt tears on her face, though she wasn't sure how she could be crying in this place beyond physical form. "Your people have carried a light through darkness for thousands of years," Jesus continued, "through persecution and exile. They kept faith when all seemed lost. This wasn't by accident. The scenes around them moved faster now. Flashes of Jewish communities preserving ancient wisdom, passing traditions from generation to generation, despite unimaginable hardships. But what's coming?" Jesus said, his face now serious. "Will shake everything." The golden light darkened. Rebecca felt a chill as the visions changed. She saw massive waves crashing over coastal cities, fires spreading across forests, nations rising against nations. People huddled in fear as systems they trusted collapsed around them. "These are the birth pangs," Jesus explained. "The world is changing." Rebecca watched as familiar landscapes were transformed, not just by disaster, but by something deeper. It was as if the veil between heaven and earth was growing thin in places. Then she saw Israel at the center of it all. "Your homeland will face its greatest test," Jesus said. "Many will abandon her. Many who claim to love her will hurt her through misguided protection." She saw nations turning their backs on Israel, hatred spreading like poison. But she also saw pockets of light, people standing firm, choosing love over fear, truth over convenience. "The world will pressure Israel to compromise its very soul," Jesus continued, "and many Jews will feel they must choose between their heritage and their place in the world." Rebecca watched as Jewish communities worldwide faced increasing pressure and isolation. The scenes broke her heart. "But here is what will shock the world," Jesus said, his voice rising with power. The vision changed again. Rebecca saw Jewish people around the globe experiencing spiritual awakening, not converting to other faiths, but discovering deeper truths within their own tradition, finding the threads that connected all humanity. "My Father has never abandoned his first children," Jesus said. "The covenant is eternal. What's coming will reveal this truth that has been hidden in plain sight for 2,000 years. She saw Jewish scholars discovering ancient texts that bridged understanding between faiths. She saw reconciliation that seemed impossible by human standards. Israel's greatest purpose has never changed, Jesus told her. To be a light to the nations, to show that God keeps his promises, to demonstrate that love is stronger than hate, that peace is possible even after thousands of years of conflict. Rebecca saw her own daughter, Leah, grown now, standing with others of her generation. They were building something new from ancient foundations. "This is why you must return," Jesus said. "Your daughter needs her mother and the world needs your voice." "But why me?" Rebecca asked. "I'm not a scholar or a leader. I run a bookstore." Jesus smiled. "You bridge worlds, Rebecca. You've always seen connections others miss. The books you've chosen to share, the stories you tell, they matter more than you know." He placed his hand over her heart. "You will help others see what you've seen here. Not through preaching, but through living, through loving your daughter, through asking questions that need asking." Rebecca thought of Aaron, of baby Leah. She wanted desperately to return to them. But part of her also wanted to stay in this place of perfect peace and understanding. "It will be hard," Jesus said, reading her thoughts. "You will face doubt, your own and others. You will question whether this was real." He stepped closer, his presence filling her with strength. "Remember this. Israel means one who struggles with God. This struggle is holy. Your questions are sacred. Your journey of understanding has only begun." Rebecca felt herself being pulled back away from the light, away from Jesus. "Wait," she called out. "What should I tell people?" His voice followed her as she began to move backward through the tunnel of light. "Tell them that love is stronger than their fears. Tell them that what divides us is temporary, but what unites us is eternal. Tell them that Israel's purpose is bigger than politics. Tell them I have not forgotten my first family, and neither should the world." The golden light began to fade. Rebecca felt herself falling, spinning, rushing back toward her body. "Remember," his voice called after her, growing fainter. "The true miracle of Israel isn't its survival, it's its purpose." Pain crashed through Rebecca's body as she gasped for air. The hospital room came into focus. Bright lights, beeping machines, shocked faces of doctors and nurses staring down at her. "She's back," someone shouted. "I don't believe it." Every breath hurt. Every heartbeat felt like a struggle. But Rebecca fought to stay present, fought to remember everything she had seen. "My baby," she whispered through cracked lips. A nurse moved closer. "Your daughter is fine. She's perfect. Your husband is with her." Hours later, when she was stable enough, they brought Aaron and baby Leah to her room. Aaron's eyes were red from crying. His hands trembled as he carefully placed their daughter in Rebecca's arms. "I thought I lost you," he whispered, his voice breaking. Rebecca looked down at Leah's tiny face, perfect dark lashes, a small button nose, skin soft as rose petals. "I need to tell you what happened," Rebecca said softly. "Where I went." Aaron sat on the edge of the bed, his expression shifting from joy to concern. "The doctors said you were gone for almost 4 minutes. They don't understand how you came back without brain damage." Rebecca touched her daughter's cheek. "I wasn't alone." Over the next days, as she recovered her strength, Rebecca tried to explain what she had experienced. The words felt inadequate. How could human language capture what she had seen? How could she explain that Jesus himself had shown her visions of Israel's true purpose? Some of the nurses looked uncomfortable when she mentioned Jesus. Her rabbi visited and listened with thoughtful silence, neither dismissing nor endorsing her experience. Aaron tried to understand but struggled. Maybe it was just your brain creating visions while you were dying, he suggested gently. Rebecca didn't argue. Maybe they were right. Maybe it had been nothing more than neurons firing as her oxygen-starved brain shut down. But in her heart, she knew better.